Sunday here in Fayetteville. Families will be gathering for picnics. Listen, if you're trying to get to Fort Bragg, you might avoid the construction. Sunday traffic on Bragg Boulevard is real fine, so you might use Bragg if you're coming into town to check the Dogwood Festival.
How'd it go?
Couple of my men, bar fight. Took me half the night to get them out of the stockade. Happy Mother's Day. That's funny. Katie hadn't picked up her papers.
I know. I haven't seen Katie or the kids since she came by to borrow some milk.
Damn, Cynthia, that was Thursday night.
I know.
Have you called?
Twice. No answer.
Maybe Gary came home and they took a Mother's Day trip.
Without their car?
Why don't you go call that babysitter, that girl? What's her name?
Stacy?
Yeah, see if she knows anything. I'm gonna go check this out.
Do you see anything, Sergeant Hallis?
Yeah. Jana's in her crib. She's a mess.
I haven't seen anybody since I babysat on Tuesday.
I called the sheriff's department.
Jana, it's all right, honey. Poor baby. It'll be all right. Shh, hi there. Yes, it'll be all right, honey.
Hi, folks. I'm Deputy Archer.
I'm Hallis. We live next door. Front door's locked. That baby's in there crying.
Nobody's seen them for days. That's just not Katie.
Let's take a look. Hey. Here you go. Thanks. Well, the window's unlocked. I'm going in.
Jana?
Stacy, you hadn't even talked to Katie by phone?
And I drove by yesterday and the front door was wide open.
Hey, it was locked. I just now tried it.
Watch your head.
You got it?
These are by the bed.
Honey, it's okay. It's okay, honey, yes.
It smells really bad in here.
Oh, honey.
Three bodies. A woman and two children.
In this quiet suburban neighborhood on Summer Hill Road near Fort Bragg, neighbors are stunned and shocked by this tragedy, where the bodies of Katie Eastburn, 31, and her two daughters, Kara, 5, and Erin, 3, were discovered. The youngest daughter, Jana, 18 months, was found in her crib, but otherwise unhurt. The father, Air Force Captain Gary Eastburn, has been away at advanced training school in Alabama for over a month. He has been contacted and is returning home on this tragic Mother's Day.
Yeah, Doug, you got anything? Very weird, Sergeant. We got us a slasher killing with 3 bodies and very little blood.
Apparently some bedding and towels were missing, maybe for cleanup.
Yeah, one hell of a cleanup. The luminol will show where they cleaned up any blood.
Sergeant Barrett.
Yeah, what do you got, Doc?
Whatever happened started here in the living room. Blouse and bra were cut away. The jeans are there. Sneakers over here. Laces still tied.
Yeah, but the body was found in the bedroom where she was killed, right?
Yes. I'd say they've been dead 3 days. I'll know more after the autopsies.
Sergeant Barris?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see this?
What's that?
Fingertip to a rubber glove. Found in the doorway to the hall. Did not find any rubber gloves in the house.
A captain's wife, 2 little girls, a rubber glove fingertip. Oh, man. This is just like the Jeffrey McDonald murders.
Yep. I worked the Fatal Vision case 15 years ago.
The house, it's just a few miles from here.
Just kill that light for me, would you please?
Captain Eastburn, he's been gone away to school for like a month. And that's when the weird phone call started.
Phone calls?
Yeah.
Any of them while you were babysitting?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And Katie, Mrs. Eastburn, she got even more, you know. And once I even took a message from him and I wrote it on a board. Oh, and there was a phone call from somebody named Angela about buying Dixie. That's Eastburn's dog.
Hey, can I help you?
Say, look now, whatever happened there now, I don't know if it helps, but other night I was walking by that house and I saw a man coming out. Now he was carrying something like a kind of a bag over his shoulder, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When was this?
I get about 3 nights ago.
You got a second to talk?
So far, you found missing this cash box with the petty cash Christmas money, Katie's instant teller bank card, and some personal papers.
It's Janice's first birthday party. Thursday night, I was studying at school, and I had the strongest desire to call Katie. But I didn't.
Good, go ahead.
I should never have gone away to school.
Now, I don't want to hear any more talk about this being a Jeffrey McDonald copycat killing.
But, Sheriff, there are definite similarities with the Jeffrey McDonald case.
What have we got?
Okay. First off, the killer stole Katie Eastburn's instant teller card. He may try to use it because the card PIN number was inside the cash box. So that lead is priority 1. Next, Mrs. Eastburn ran an ad in the Army Post newspaper to get rid of their dog, Dixie. And somebody came to pick up the dog Tuesday night. The killings were Thursday, so we want to talk to that person. Oh, and we got our first break. We have a witness, a guy named Owen Breck. Says that he saw a man walk down Summerhill Road that night. Breck is with a police sketch artist now. He says the man he saw was well over 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds, blonde with a mustache. He was wearing a black jacket and a ski cap or a military beret. And he was driving a white Chevette.
Yeah, that looks like him.
Authorities have requested
Tim,
that the
come here, quick.
who took the Eastburn dog may help in solving the brutal slayings of Catherine Eastburn and her 2 daughters. The Cumberland County Sheriff has requested that the person who picked up the Eastburn dog, Dixie, to come forward and make contact with the department. Neighbors describe the Eastburns as having been a quiet and friendly couple who took excellent care of their 3.
You're not gonna believe this.
What?
Just come here.
I've seen it.
The guy that picked up the Eastburn dog just came in. Take a look.
My God, Kenny, he looks like he posed for it.
His name is Tim Hennis. He's an Army sergeant stationed at Fort Bragg.
Well, look, I don't understand why I should sign a waiver saying that I don't want an attorney present. Am I a suspect?
No.
Why'd you read me the Miranda?
I'm just keeping it legal. Tim, this is simply a routine questioning. You were one of the last people to see Katie Eastburn alive. And you were in the house the night you picked up the dog, okay? Excuse me just a minute, Tim.
Jim Hennis mugshot. Bad check charge 2 years ago.
Huh.
Now, Mr. Breck, we're just gonna take a little cruise around this lot and we're gonna take a look at what's here, okay?
Yeah, okay.
You see any car looks like the car you saw that night, you just say so. Now, take your time, Owen. Take a good look.
Hold it. Over there. That's it. That's what the guy was driving.
Are you sure?
I know cars, man.
And you had CQ duty at the post all weekend?
Right, because I had weekend duty. My wife and daughter left town to spend Mother's Day with her folks.
And when did they leave?
Thursday.
So you were home alone Thursday night?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go upstairs so the nurse can take some samples.
Samples? Well, what kind?
Blood, hair from your head, pubic hair.
Why?
Well, Mrs. Eastburn was raped first.
Yes, that's right, ma'am. Now you see that's the corner of Rock and Woodrow, correct?
Who's your commanding officer, sir? Just stating for us.
Good Lord, we've been here 5 hours. All you did was pick up a dog. What is taking so long?
I had to give a sample for a rape kit.
Rape? But you were home alone that night. Weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 hits. First of all, Breck made a positive ID of Hennis from his photo lineup. And second, Breck picked Hennis' car out of the whole parking lot.
Well, this much evidence can't be a coincidence.
Hey, look, I came down here because I picked up their dog. Now, you going to keep us here all night?
No, I'm sorry, Tim. These things always take longer than expected. You're free to go.
Sergeant, could you tell us exactly what you're...
Get out of my face.
You have an alibi? Mr. Hennis, were you in the... Where's the gun, Hennis? Were you in the area? Sergeant Hennis, were you on base?
Sheriff, listen, please. I'm telling you, an arrest is premature. We don't have lab tests yet, no matching prints.
Mr. Prosecutor, we have a witness that puts him and his car at the scene of the crime. He has no alibi. He was home alone.
What's his motive?
Rape is its own motive. Now, we got grounds for an arrest.
But I don't have enough to prosecute.
You will when we gather more evidence. Now, look, he left here in a rage. Now, suppose rage is his trigger, and he commits another atrocity when we could have arrested him. Take a good look at these crime scene photos. Now, can y'all live with another one of those?
What is that?
Who knows?
After 1:30, they're gonna wake Christina.
Open up, Hennis. It's the sheriff.
Get Dad on the phone right now. Quick. Hurry up.
Bob, it's Angela. I know it's late.
Well, they just...
They're pounding on the door. I don't know. Something to do with a woman.
Timothy Bailey Hennis.
Yeah?
I have a warrant for your arrest. I have a search warrant for your home and your car. The charge is rape, 3 counts of homicide. Get out of here. Go.
Right out this way. The sheriffs are here. I don't know what's going on. They're arresting Tim.
I don't know what to do, Bob.
Angela, sit tight.
Stay with the baby. I'll catch the next plane out. Tim's been arrested.
Wait, what? For what?
A triple murder.
What? Oh, that's crazy. It's a mistake.
One hell of a mistake.
Sheriff, what's the similarity between this and the Jeffrey McDonald killings?
No similarity. The military botched that case. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Department has made an arrest in this triple homicide in less than 4 days.
Do you have a witness?
Yes.
What about physical evidence?
A ton.
Right in here, sir.
Mr. Hennis, I'm Jerry Beaver. This is my associate, Billy Richardson.
Hi, Mr. Richardson.
Good to meet you, sir.
We've only got a minute.
Yeah. Well, thank you for seeing me on such short notice.
Well, your office called, and my partners had a chance to talk during lunch. Frankly, they want no part of your case.
Why not?
Tim Hennis is not going to get bond, not on a rape and triple murder of a woman and her 2 small daughters.
Mr. Hennis, the sheriff has a positive ID from a photo lineup, and a witness puts Tim and his car at the crime scene.
A witness?
Plus, the state's got a whole posse of detectives, prosecutors, crime lab experts, millions of dollars to spend just to kill your son. Nobody wants this case, Mr. Hennis. I'm sorry. We gotta get back to court.
Please, listen to me. I know my son, do you understand? You understand? I know him. His good qualities and the bad. Everything. That boy did not do this crime. I don't care what the witness or the police or the state or the heavenly host says. My son is not guilty. I need help. Yeah, the defense attorney we're trying to get is Tops. I've researched him and I've talked with him.
Well, finally something good. How soon can I get out of here, Dad?
Tim, you won't be getting bond. The crime is too serious.
How can they just choose me because I picked up that lady's dog? Are they crazy? What?
Well, they have a witness. He's identified you in your car at the murder scene.
Oh, my God.
Baby, it's gonna be okay. You didn't do it. They can't prove a lie, right?
You bet, you bet. Just hang on, Tim. We're just getting started.
I'm up. I love you, Angela. I love you too, Dad.
No, I know he's scared. He's never said I love you to me before.
Okay. You hate the idea. All right, let's take a poll. Who thinks Tim Hennis is guilty?
Here.
It's a good thing we're not the jury. All right, state's asking for the death penalty. If we take this case and lose, we gotta watch him die.
And it's a no-win case. Bad publicity, bad public opinion, and our peers.
That's not the point. Hennis may be guilty as Judas. He still has a right to the best defense. We're not supposed to be concerned with what people think. Tim Hennis has a right to counsel, and he asked for us. Isn't that what's right?
Billy, only you could get away with a Boy Scout line like that.
No, Billy's right. But if we took this case, it's not just going to be tough on us. It's going to be worse on our families. All right. Take another vote?
Hell's bells, Beaver, why vote? You and Billy are going to do what you think anyway.
It's always seemed a better place to talk than a conference room.
You gonna take the case?
Yeah. I got outvoted. But I'm still the boss. Now, hardball. Everybody thinks Tim is guilty, including us. I know no father wants to believe that his son could commit this kind of a...
You find out who did it. No matter who did it. Or find out that Tim didn't do it. I want one thing, the truth.
Even if Tim did it?
Even if he did it.
The fee will be $100,000. Can you handle that?
I'll have to raise it.
There's more bad news. The sheriff's been told that Tim was seen burning something in a steel barrel the Saturday morning after the murders. The prosecution will argue that Tim was burning evidence he took away from the crime scene. Bloody rags and towels from the cleanup.
Oh, I know about the barrel. The police haven't picked it up yet. They're still in the backyard.
Kidding.
No, I didn't think I had the right to do anything about it. What should I do?
Leave it alone.
Listen, my wife is worried sick. I've got to call Mary Lou. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
There goes an honest man.
Who's going to get his heart broken?
Tim's doing okay. He's fine. He's holding up. But frankly, it's bad. There's a witness who says he saw Tim at the murder scene.
Oh, my gosh. Bob, don't you think I ought to be there?
No, wait, there's more. The defense fee is $100,000. Now we got $20,000 in savings. That's a down payment. Mary Lou, we gotta sell the house.
Oh, Bob, but honey,
If we don't win this, we could lose Tim. Look, a lot can happen in a short while. Or one night, my gosh. Feels like I've been here a month. Sorry, Mary Lou. It's the only way to raise the money. We need the best defense we can.
Okay, sure.
I hate for you to get stuck with the sale, but I can't get back to do it. I'm calling the office tomorrow for a leave of absence, and... Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, what else can go wrong?
Well, I'm not pregnant.
I love you so very much. Good night, dear.
Good night. I love you.
Call Timothy Bailey Hennis.
Mr. Heddes, you were charged with 1 count of rape and 3 counts of homicide. Do you understand the charges against you?
Yes, sir.
The court will provide you with a qualified legal counsel. If you...
Excuse me, Your Honor. Good morning. I'm Billy Richardson. Mr. Hennis's father has retained Gerald Beaver and me as counsel for the defense.
You are not getting an open file. Not one thing more than the law requires.
Exactly what does that mean?
Exactly what I said. No favors, no special cooperation.
Suppose you need a favor from us.
I won't ask for it. We're not taking any chances of Hennis getting off because of some of your Butch and Sundance trickery. Either you get specific or you get nothing.
Okay, specifically, we want into the Eastburn house and view the crime scene.
No, not till we're through with it.
Do you have prints?
Yes.
Blood?
Yes.
Sperm?
With their tails intact.
I'm just curious. How'd you happen to get assigned to this case?
I asked for it.
Why?
Because, in all modesty, I am probably the best man in the department for this case. Does that answer it?
That's wonderful. We have a client who Mother Teresa would cheerfully execute, and the Terminator for a prosecutor.
But they got no motive for Hennis.
Smithline will find one. You can count on it.
This is Tim Hennis's jacket. We found it at the dry cleaners. Hennis had taken it in the morning after the killing, so we want your lab to check it for blood traces.
Oh, don't get your hopes up, Sergeant. Dry cleaning usually removes blood. But, we'll give it our best shot.
We need you in interrogation.
What do you got?
Walk-in named Ellen Browning.
Who's she?
Tim Hennis' ex-girlfriend.
You see, I know Tim Hennis couldn't have killed that woman or those children. He just couldn't have.
Why not?
It was Thursday night, right?
Right.
Well, Tim Hennis was with me that night.
Oh? Well, what time did Tim leave you?
At 9:30 or a little before.
He visit you any other time?
About 2 weeks before.
And he came back on the night of the murders.
He did.
Yeah.
And no, we weren't having an affair. He didn't even make a pass at me that night.
No? Well, then, maybe he, didn't get what he wanted and, went looking for it someplace else.
And Hennis did not leave you until 9:30 that night.
Right. Right.
Hennis must be nuts. He was with someone that night and didn't tell the police.
Hell, didn't tell us. Jerry, is it an alibi?
No. That's the point. I talked to Sergeant Barris. Ellen Browning went in there thinking to help Tim. She didn't know the time of the killings. Tim left between 9 and 9:30. He could easily have had plenty of time.
Then Tim lied about being home alone the night of the murders.
Oh, hey, it gets worse. She told Barris they didn't have sex.
Then the prosecution will say that Tim left her rejected, angry, sexually frustrated, and took it out on Katie Eastburn.
Right. Smithline now has his motive. Tim, the simple fact is the state is building one powerful case. And they haven't even begun to link the physical evidence. I mean, when they do... Suppose the prosecutor offers a deal. You plead guilty in exchange for no death penalty.
No deals, okay? I am not pleading guilty to something I didn't do. Jerry, Billy, you got that? All right?
All right.
Got it?
All right.
Finally?
Good. Let's get to work then.
Tim, first, we don't want any more surprises. Now, straight talk. Don't worry about protecting yourself, your ex-girlfriend. Beginning on Thursday, where were you?
Okay, Thursday. I drove Angela and the kid to Selma for Mother's Day to see her folks because I had CQ duty at the post all weekend. I came back that night.
What time?
Around dinner. I got a cheeseburger to drive it. I was in a neighborhood, so I stopped by Ellen Browning's. Is that a crime?
Is there some reason why you didn't tell that to us or to the police?
Yeah, it's nobody's business.
Oh, it's everybody's business now, Tim. Okay. What happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. No sex. Isn't that what you want to know? I did not have sex with Ellen Browning. I went home around 9 o'clock. There was a call from Mrs. Eastburn.
Wait, that's new, Tim. Why didn't you tell that to anyone?
She wanted to know how the dog Dixie was doing. Is that important?
For one thing, it establishes how late she was alive that night.
Okay. Okay. Then what?
And I went to bed. At 5:30, I was on the post on the morning Friday battalion run. There's about 800 witnesses to that. As far as Ellen Browning, nothing happened. You don't believe me? You ask her.
Tim and I went together for several months before he married Angela. You'd have thought it was the romance of the century, the way police questioned me. What was our sex life like? Was he kinky in bed? Was he aggressive? Did he like rough sex? I mean, it was a joke.
How so?
Tim, he's a cuddler. He's also a gentleman, and he's very, conservative. Understand?
What happened that night?
Tim just showed up, out of the blue. He sat there and watched TV while I fixed dinner for my daughter and me. Later, when my daughter did her homework, Tim and I watched Family Ties. How's the marriage going?
How's yours?
We're married 3 months, then he gets shipped to Germany. I love the Army.
Yeah.
Where's Angela?
She's gone again.
Now what's wrong?
Oh, same old, you know, just... Well, it's not real smooth anyway.
I'm sorry, Timmy.
That's all right. I better get going. I gotta go check on that dog.
And then I said goodnight. He left.
Did he make a pass at you?
Not that night, no, but... Well, 2 weeks prior he made sort of a passive pass, but nothing happened.
Was Tim mad when he left?
He seemed okay.
Ellen, does Tim cover up his feelings?
Mr. Macho does not like to show emotion.
Then you might not know if he really was mad.
I never thought of that.
And then we'll be getting back to you, yes. Can you hold, please? Bob and Mrs. Hennis are here. They're waiting in your office.
Thank you.
Sure. Hello, what can I do for you this afternoon?
Around 80. Mary Lou. This is Tim's attorney, Jerry Beaver.
Nice to meet you.
And
Yes,
Billy Richardson.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Mary Lou just flew in.
Great. Please sit down.
Oh, a little bumpy, thanks.
Okay, here's a certified check for $20,000. That get you started?
That'll do nicely.
And hire an investigator?
We'll put one on today. We got a good man, a real pro.
Good. We'll get another payment to you as soon as the house is sold. Real estate's a little slow right now, but we priced it to sell quick.
We trust you, Mr. Hennis.
Selling your home like that, you must believe in Tim very much.
Yes, we do. We're a very close family. I guess most people say that, but we really are.
How many kids are there?
Just 2 now. Tim's brother Andrew was killed 4 years ago in a motorcycle accident.
I'm very sorry.
So now there's just Tim and his sister Beth. She's living in Colorado. So I guess they're especially precious to us now. You see, all our kids are adopted.
D.B. Guinness, private eye, can find anything.
Including where to eat anywhere in the Carolinas.
D.B., what do you hear? What do you think?
Well, Mr. Hennis, given the scuttlebutt around the courthouse, sheriff's office, and what's in the media, your son is guilty. Or the unluckiest man alive. But, I don't much trust luck. Good or bad.
We're going to divide the work, a 2-prong attack. I'll prepare the legal strategy, and D.B. and Billy will run their own investigation.
Because of the McDonald copycat angle, Jerry's contacted the forensic expert who broke the fatal vision case, Richard Tasman. He's going to fly in and examine the crime scene.
If we could ever get in the house, they haven't released it yet. I may have to get a court order.
Man, gotta get in there somehow.
You will. So, what's DB's first assignment?
Stacy Carrollwood, the babysitter. She's got a fixation on the McDonald case.
So, how'd you get into the Jeffrey McDonald thing?
I did a report on fatal vision and just got hooked.
Hooked?
And I think he's innocent, you know, and I wrote to him, and he wrote me back. He even called me on my birthday.
Yeah?
It's no big deal.
Right.
Now, this is really all so weird.
How so?
Well, like, on the Monday after the murders, I was at the hospital, you know, visiting little Jana, and my friend Dennis picked me up, and no, I think it was Brandon that picked me up. Anyhow, we were riding home, and this blue van followed me. You know, and we circled around the block, and it just kept following, and it was real spooky, you know, and then once at a stoplight, this guy he glared at me, you know. I I mean, I don't know, maybe he recognized me or something because my picture was in the paper that day. And,
Did you get a good look at this guy?
yeah, I did. He was real freaky, you know, like hippie-like. I mean, I didn't recognize him or anything, but...
Okay. Can you tell me about the strange phone calls at the Eastburns?
Yeah, there were a lot of those phone calls. I mean, sometimes when I babysat, there'd be like 2 or 3, you know, in a night.
Mommy.
Hello?
How's the prettiest girl on Summer Hill Road?
Was it the same guy who called before?
Yeah. I mean, I must have gotten like 20 phone calls that month. I mean, well, maybe it wasn't 20, you know, exactly, but a lot, you know. And Katie, Mrs. Eastburn, she got even more, you know. She just said hang up.
Did you know the voice?
No. I don't think he recognized me either.
How come?
Well, he asked me if I had big boobs. Well, you know, unless he knew me from my drug adventure.
Drug adventure?
Well, yeah, I mean, see, I kind of like met this guy in drug enforcement.
Jerry. Yeah, there may be a drug angle on this Eastburn case. Yeah, Stacy Carrollwood says she worked for a narc. So check with Cumberland County, can you, for an undercover guy named Frank Sayers. Yeah, he's supposedly you, Stacy. Well, I'm approaching Eastburn House now. I just wanted to check for... Holy moly. Jerry, you're not going to believe this. Captain Eastburn's moving. They're hauling away the crime scene.
The crime scene is being destroyed. We haven't had access. Now, our forensic people have a right to see it. This is just dirty.
No, it's an accident. And besides, I'll make my SBI reports on the house available.
I'm telling you, this is the first time I've ever had this kind of trouble assessing a crime scene. I don't believe it. It's outrageous.
Look, Beaver, when we finished with it and the indictment came down, Captain Eastburn wanted to move out immediately. Can you blame him? The state had no right to stop him. Besides, you're in now.
Richard Tasman, this is my partner, Billy Richardson.
Hello, Billy. I followed your work in the McDonald case. I'm glad to finally meet you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
The smell.
Blood.
Billy Richardson and Richard Tasman are poking around the crime scene.
Well, let them poke. Who's Richard Tasman?
He's the forensic who broke the Fatal Vision case.
Yeah, the defense may be trying for a McDonald copycat murder.
What have we got to counter that?
Well, the blood sperm tests were inconclusive.
And still, so far, no physical evidence linking Hennis to the murder scene.
What have we got on Hennis?
He's got a long history of money problems, bad checks everywhere. He was convicted on a bad check rap, and he's usually late with his rent.
So Katie Eastburn's missing cash box might look good to him. What about her missing instant teller card?
Katie Eastburn's instant teller card was used twice after the murders. On Friday night at 10:52 p.m. and then again Saturday morning, 8:56.
We're checking anyone else who used the instant teller and might have seen something.
Good. And find anyone who can support Breck's testimony. So far, Owen Breck is our case. Either Breck sells a jury or the baby killer walks.
Mrs. Taylor, you used your instant teller card late that Saturday morning?
Around then.
Did you see anyone? Big blonde guy, GI type.
Not that I recall, no. But I'm not sure. No.
All right, thanks.
If D.B. Guinness calls in, I want to talk to him.
You got it, Mr. Beaver.
Where is DB? I've set up a meeting with him and Owen Breck.
Remember that drug informant that Stacy Carolwood supposedly knew? Frank Sarrazin?
Yeah?
He's real. D.B. tracked him down.
Yes! Way to go. You see, I like to use young girls to bait the buy. You know, some dealers just get off selling the chicken, you know. Chicken?
Yeah. Is that why you picked Stacy, 'cause she's so young?
Well, you know, it didn't hurt. But I only used her a few times because her mother put an end to it. But I'll tell you this much. She had the knack. I mean, she was good to be so young, you know? I remember we set up this buy with this badass GI called Ox. So, did it lead to an arrest? No, they went underground before we could bust him, you know. Him and his buddy in his van, they just disappeared, you know. Mm-hmm. How would you describe Stacy? Smart, but spacey. Like, get this right, Lizzie Borden and Jeffrey McDonald are her favorite murder cases. I mean, you know, she even writes McDonald in prison. Did you ever use her on the witness stand? No way, Bo. She's too flaky, you know. Over-dramatizes everything.
Ox? I never knew anybody named Ox. Whatever an ox is.
No.
No. And I never talked about Lizzie Borden and mass murders and all that stuff. No. Oh, and I don't do drugs.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever help Sarrazin set up a drug bust?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I told you that before. I mean, I said that I kind of helped him set up one.
Wish you weren't going.
Oh, you wish, honey. But the offer on the house seems genuine enough. They want to open escrow.
I'm just sorry you have to handle this alone.
Bob, when I was talking to the broker, well, they offered me a part-time job, and I think I ought to take it.
Oh, boy, I hate that.
I know.
I never thought you'd ever have to work again. Gee, this is all unbelievable.
Just don't keep me in the dark. It's going to be tough enough being in Florida with you and everything.
I already miss you.
Now, you promise me that you will tell me everything that's happening. Don't you sugarcoat a thing. I'm a big girl.
Big. Honey, you're a giant.
Okay, so as I'm coming up the street, the dude came down the Eastburn Drive toward me. He passed me probably right about here, and then he walked on down the road.
That streetlight was behind him, right? So his face wasn't well lit?
I could still see the man, you know what I'm saying?
Then what?
Okay, well then I walked up to the streetlight. I turned around and I looked. He kept on going, and he walked down there toward the Chevette.
Where was his car parked?
Down there, near the corner.
At the end of the street? That's over 75 yards away. You waited that long to watch him walk to his car?
That's what happened, man.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
We're investigating the Eastburn case. Did you happen to see something?
Well, yeah, you know how everybody keeps talking about the white car? I never saw a white car, but there was a van parked near the Eastburns that night.
Did you tell that to the police?
Sure did.
Last thing I want to do is get anybody in trouble, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like when they did the photo lineup thing, man, I prayed to God Almighty, I was making the right choice.
Did you take long to decide?
Yeah, 30 minutes, maybe more. My mom and daddy hammered at me to tell the truth. Tell the truth. Then my friends, they've been all over me like white on rice since coming forward. I mean, like, sometimes I'm not really certain it's the right guy.
Jerry, you're not gonna believe this.
I witnessed it, and I don't believe it.
What's that?
This is a tape of Owen Breck.
So?
Owen Breck told us on tape he is uncertain about his identification of Tim Hennis.
He said that? On tape?
Well, first he told us, then we recorded it.
But is a tape recording admissible?
This is. We had the tape transcribed and Owen Breck signed it. It was witnessed and notarized. Breck has retracted his statement.
They've got no physical evidence. Their key witness retracted? Yes!
That's great. Hey, how did you do it?
Breck just talked.
The state will claim he was pressured.
Well, he wasn't. He said it, period.
Okay. Let's keep Breck's retraction to ourselves.
I agree. Jerry, there's more. While we're at the crime scene, a neighbor named Doug Palmer says he didn't see a white Chevette. He did see a van that night.
A van? What does that mean?
Well, it's the second time it came up. When I talked to Stacy, she said that a blue van followed her home Monday night after the murders.
Did she see who was driving?
She said the guy looked kind of freaky. It was not Tim Hennis.
Sure. Tim has no connection with a van.
Looks like there was someone else there that night. And there's a van moving around? Gentlemen, the state's case is falling apart.
Bail? They gonna try for bail on a rape and triple murder?
And have also reviewed the police files and state crime lab reports and all the evidence presented by the district attorney's office. In view of the fact that no physical evidence so far links the accused to the crime scene, I have no choice but to grant bail set at $100,000.
What are they serious?
Gary.
They're letting him out. My God, what kind of system is this? Can't you do something?
Gary, I presented every argument in the book. Gentlemen, if you please. It's the judge's call. He can allow the...
Can we understand this from you, sir? Just one moment.
What are you going to do now?
Get the toughest investigator in the business to tear their case apart. Good God. Harlan, I didn't sleep for a month. What do you want me to do? Talk to every witness. Plug every hole in our case and punch holes in theirs.
All right, let's talk alibi some more. Now, first, when Katie's bank card was used here at the bank? Katie's bank card was used twice. Friday night at 10:52 and again Saturday morning. Now, Saturday...
Yeah, their witness, Lorraine Taylor, said she didn't see anybody.
So, Tim, where were you?
I was relieved of CQ duty sometime around 8:30. And, it's almost impossible to get from that instant teller to Fort Bragg in less than 30 minutes.
Almost impossible. Swell. Okay. We'll go with that. What about the trash barrel? Now, you were seen burning trash here at your house from sometime after 9 o'clock on Saturday morning till around 1. The state will say that you were burning letters from Katie's lockbox and bloody rags from the cleanup.
Yeah, I was burning stuff.
What were you burning?
Angela been bugging me cleaning out that old storeroom. Army manuals, cleaning rags, a ton of old papers. So while she was gone to Mother's Day, I did what I was asked.
That's right. Angela said she'd been after him to do it for months.
Why didn't you just put it in the trash? Saturday afternoon is trash pickup. Why burn it?
I got some bad news.
Well, things are going so well here. What could be bad?
Smithline has hired Harold Carlin to head the DA's investigation.
Carlin the bird dog. Oh, boy. Well, we'll just have to out-bird dog the bird dog.
Now, Mr. Taylor, we know that you used your bank card just before 9 a.m. on the Saturday after the Eastburn murders. Are you sure that you didn't see anybody?
Like I told them, it was a long time ago. I can't swear I saw anyone.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Taylor, you told the police a while back that you didn't remember seeing anyone else at the instant teller that Saturday morning?
That's right. Look, Mr. Carlin, how many times do I have to tell everybody?
But Mrs. Eastburn's card was used while you were there. Are you sure you didn't see anyone?
Right. A van. I think it was blue. Parked there that Friday night.
Are you sure? You said you saw it the night of the murder. Now, that was Thursday, not Friday.
Well, I think it was the night of the murder.
Mr. Palmer, isn't it possible that you were right just now? And that it was later on Friday when you saw the van?
Well, yeah, it might have been. I mean, it's been so long.
Thanks.
Oh, that kills the van.
Yeah. The refocuses on Hennis's white Chevette.
So, Mrs. Gillis, you were driving your husband back to his post at 3 a.m. the night of the murders.
That's right. You see, we have to drive right down Summer Hill Road, and I clearly remember not seeing a white car parked where they said it was.
And you told the police you saw a man walking at night near the Eastburn house?
Yes, sir. A week or two before the murders. It was before 4 in the morning.
How'd you happen to see this man?
Well, I was awake and out of cigarettes, so I made my husband walk with me to the store. We saw a tall man walking near the Eastburns. Couldn't see his face, but he stood about 6 feet. Wore a black jacket and a black hat, and had bags slung over his shoulder. And I saw this man again in the middle of the night, dressed the same way.
When was that?
Several months after they arrested Sergeant Hannis.
DB, somebody else was walking that neighborhood at night, and we've got to find them.
Yeah, but with everybody we got to talk to, when are we going to find the time? 2:45. I am not believing this.
Jenny Gillis said she saw the walker between 3 and 4 a.m.
How many nights do you think we can do this and still work all day?
Till we find him. We're going to cruise all along his possible routes, find the walker, and win the case.
Right.
We're talking about exactly 10:52 that Friday, the night we were with Sergeant Hennis on CQ duty. That's the first time Katie Eastburn's instant teller card was used.
I called Sergeant Hennis at the CQ after 10:30. Checked me out of the day room.
Yeah, but precisely what time?
Well, at least 10:45.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
All right, guys, back in. Give me the ball. Woo!
What time?
About 10:45. That's when I phoned him. Came over to sign me out about 11:15.
Now, how do you know that? You don't wear a watch.
No, but you see, I left Sergeant Hennis in the day room, then went to the barracks. I went to bed at 12:05. That's what time the clock radio said. So I back timed from then.
Back time? From midnight?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
So I finally get this gorgeous woman to talk right into the wire I'm wearing. Cops don't show up to make the bust.
Didn't we cover this street last night?
No, I don't think so. I think it was the night before. Anyway, cops don't show up, right? And I'm thinking, my wife's never gonna believe this, that I was supposed to stake out this gorgeous woman. No, sir.
DB, Aren't the newspapers delivered about this time? Mrs. Griffin, you were delivering newspapers in the Eastburn neighborhood early that morning, right?
Yes. Why?
Well, the Hennis defense is doing its own investigation of the
Look, I really don't want to get involved in all this.
Please?
I saw a van parked near the house about 1:45 in the morning. It's kind of dark on that part of the street. I almost ran into the van. That's it.
Did you see anyone? Anything?
I've told you.
Would you be willing to testify in court?
No way. I told them. I'm telling you. I won't testify in open court. Goodbye.
But why not?
Jerry, we can't do that. It's terrible strategy.
Breck's retraction is perfect. We can move for a dismissal hearing now, get Breck suppressed. There won't even be a trial.
No, we should go to trial. Let them put Breck on the stand, then present his retraction. It'll blow them apart. No Breck, no case. If we use it now and the judge doesn't grant the dismissal, they'll know about the retraction. They'll have months to prepare Breck for trial.
Billy, what if we're post-convicted? Suppose we go to trial and the review board sees that we had Breck's retraction and didn't present it before the trial.
Review.
We could lose our license.
Let's win the case.
Hold it! Are you saying if we take Breck's retraction to court now, I might not have to stand trial?
It's possible.
But not certain.
Oh.
And if Jerry's wrong...
It's up to you, Tim.
Go for it. Huh?
This is precisely the sort of poppycock one can expect from children. But in a court of law, I don't think it's going to hold water. I'm pretty sure we've got it covered, but I tell you, excuse me, I cannot believe that you boys are now going to try for a dismissal. On what grounds?
Hey, Owen. Hey. You're still with us, right?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Oh, nothing, Mama.
You better be telling the truth.
Oh, come on.
And I present as evidence this sworn and signed affidavit by Owen Breck, saying that he is not certain that the man he saw that evening is Timothy Hennis.
Your Honor, I request a recess so that the state may study this document and respond.
Very well. Court recessed until 2 o'clock.
Talk to Breck. Get him some lunch.
Hey, Owen. How about some lunch?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In here. Now, I'm gonna go pick up some sandwiches. You just stay away from the flack and the hassle. Okay.
Mama, seems like everything I say turns out backwards. If I did sign that paper, it's because I thought it was a subpoena. I'm telling you the honest truth, Mama.
I didn't mean to confuse nobody. Everybody was talking all the time, but I know what I saw that night. The man I saw was the man I identified, Tim Hennis. And that is the truth. Your loving son, Owen. Do you see that man in this court?
Tim Hennis.
And therefore, the trial will proceed as scheduled in 3 months.
You boys played your whole card a little early. I'll try not to do the same.
sex or rape is no motive for wiping out a family. It has to be another motive. All right, these lab reports show the blood sperm tests are inconclusive in IDing the perpetrator and that Tim Hennis has a rare blood subgroup.
Well, wouldn't that make it easier to rule Tim out?
Normally, yes, but the length of time Katie was dead makes it difficult to rule either way because of the PGM masking of the rapist's blood type. Doesn't rule him out. Okay, but next, there was more than one assailant.
How can you tell that?
Multiple knives were used. And all the evidence suggests it happened like this. That night after putting the children to bed, Katie sat on the living room floor sorting laundry. Sometime after 9 o'clock, the assailants arrived. She knew at least one of them. That's why she let him in. Katie went back to sorting laundry. At some point, she was grabbed. There was a struggle. The laundry basket was knocked over. Her hands were tied behind her back. The rape began. The assailant controlled her by a knife against the side of her throat. Her panties and bra were neatly cut away from her. While this is happening, the other assailant went down the hall to deal with the children. Kara died in her bed. Eventually, Katie broke loose and ran down the hall to her children. She was stabbed during the pursuit. Katie ran across the bed, leaving a bloody footprint from her sock. She is now trapped against the wall. She was killed. 3-year-old Erin was sleeping on her mother's bed. She was pulled to the floor. She was killed. Rapists usually work alone, but there were at least 2 perpetrators here, and nobody is going to murder children for $300 from an instant teller.
What about the fatal vision angle, the McDonald copycat possibility, and the babysitter, Stacy? Aren't we going to bring her in as a witness?
No. Stacy is too unreliable to put on the stand. She's all over the place. I think the other side even agrees with us on Stacy.
It doesn't matter. And the McDonald copycat angle is dead for us.
Why?
We can't prove the connection and can't enter it as evidence.
But Richard's theory of 2 perpetrators can definitely help us. Plus, he could take the stand to discredit the state's physical evidence. Now, what do you got on that?
Well, State has a piece of corduroy recovered from the ashes of Mr. Hennis's burning trash barrel. They say it matches the fiber ribs on the bloody print on Katie's bed, but I think the print came from Katie's own sock when she ran across the bed to escape a killer. The ribs are similar. That's about all they got.
And if we could just find the walker, that would discredit Breck, their key witness.
Give up on the walker.
Why?
We're out of time.
Tim, Katie's bank card was first used at 10:52 on Friday night.
Right, at the branch bank clear over by the Methodist College. Now, how long does it take to drive there from Fort Bragg?
Not positive. Roads are complicated there.
I made it in 25 minutes. Round trip about 45, 50 minutes.
Tim, your witness, Specialist Reno, he alibis you when the car was used, but he's too vague on the time. Isn't there any way to prove you were on duty between 10:30 and 11:30 that night?
Not really. It's pretty busy over there that time of night. Crime prevention checklist. I had to sign it when I closed the orderly room. It's got the exact time.
Now? You're remembering it?
It doesn't matter. DB, get over to Fort Bragg. Find that document.
Yes, sir. Listen, the Army's put me back to work, and I'm stuck at a desk. Anything I can do till the trial? Anything help?
Yeah. Stay out of trouble.
Both the prosecution and the defense are in their final hours of preparation for the Hennis trial. The Eastburn murders were discovered on Mother's Day just over 1 year ago.
I'll check on her.
Army Sergeant Tim Hennis, who picked up the Eastburn dog just days before the murders occurred, was arrested and charged with the crimes. Hennis has pled not guilty to charges of rape and 3 counts of homicide in the murders of Catherine Eastburn and 2 of her 3
Boy,
children.
she's a good baby.
The trial, scheduled to start next week, could result.
Mom always said it took me hours to go to sleep. Nothing on the box?
Just up by the trial date. Is she gonna be at the trial?
Who?
Ellen Browning.
I guess so. She's a witness for the state.
Uh-huh. And what's she gonna say?
That nothing happened. Nothing did happen, Angie. Alright, I shouldn't have been there.
No, you shouldn't have.
I said that, didn't I?
Look, I go home for Mother's Day, and that night you drive back and see her. Tell me, did you get a speeding ticket trying to get there?
Angie, please. Look, I said I'm sorry. Alright? I said nothing happened. Nothing happened! What else do you want me to say?
No, you don't get mad at me, okay?
Well, nothing happened!
Don't keep saying that. You want to medal for being a hero because she probably turned you down?
It was stupid, okay?
Yes, it was stupid, and no, it is not okay. Why did you go there? Just answer that.
I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to talk to somebody.
We talked all the way to Selma. What did you have left to say to her?
I don't mean like that.
What? What? I would really like to know. I would like to know what you had to say to her that you can't say to me. I'm your wife.
Nothing. Nothing to say. Like I said, I'm sorry. I said I shouldn't have been there. I said nothing happened. What do you want me to say?
Just don't say nothing happened as if that makes everything all right. You understand? Never say that to me again.
Can I say I'm sorry? Hey, you don't know how hard it is for me to admit how much I regret everything, especially hurting you.
It is not here.
It's gotta be. The Army don't throw no paper away.
There's a crime prevention checklist for every day of the year, for every company in Hennis's battalion. Except Hennis's company that night.
Where is it?
Oh. You know, it's just a thought. But what if the checklist doesn't support Tim's alibi? He might have destroyed it.
Well, then why'd he tell us about it?
Because he's afraid somebody else might. This way, at least it looks like he's trying to help. But the checklist can't hide him because it can't be found. Sleep well.
Gentlemen, we've decided not to put Tim on the witness stand.
What?
What?
What? Tim's got to testify. Why?
Because Tim is very angry, and Smithline will exploit that. He wants the jury to see Tim in a rage. He will try hard to make Tim angry, and then he will eat him alive.
Think so, Jerry?
Easy. Your attitude sucks buttermilk.
What's wrong with my attitude?
Tim, you have all the charm of a stormtrooper. You stink with rage.
Hey, I'm accused of a rape and a triple murder, Jerry. Why don't you try living with that, huh? What's wrong with it? It's gonna help the amount of rage!
Okay. Come on, okay. Come on.
Because rage is what drives this atrocity. And he'll use it to demonstrate how easily you lose control. Like now. I'm sorry, Tim, I had to show you. And Smithline's a lot better at this than I am.
And when you entered the Eastburn house, Deputy Archer, what did you find?
3 dead bodies. They'd obviously been slashed.
This is what Deputy Archer saw. First of all, I'd direct your attention to the diagram there depicted on the screen,
You're
which
in the
will
light.
marked
Just look down at the table.
This is a diagram depicting some of the wounds of Aaron Eastburn. Now, I mentioned a cut wound or incised wound of the neck. This is a diagram of that part of that wound. It starts a little bit to the left side of the neck and goes around, actually all the way around, but you can see it goes around to the right side of it, going around the bend of the neck here. It is irregular in some areas. There's also a stab wound here, which is depicted as stab wound number 5. This wound was just a very superficial stab. It's an inch away and only went into the body about a fourth of an inch, just into the soft tissues of the neck. I'll show you what's been marked for identification, or will be marked for identification, as State's Exhibit number 83. This is what is called an identification photograph of Tara Eastburn. I'll show you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit number 84. A photograph of the body of Tara Eastburn is primarily shown.
How long did that horror show last?
51 minutes.
Call Miss Lorraine Taylor.
What are they calling her for? She told us she couldn't identify anyone at the bank. I know.
And you saw this man at the bank on Saturday morning after the Eastburn murders.
Yes, I stopped at the instant teller on my way to my exercise class, and there was a man in front of me, so I waited in my car.
What did he look like?
He was tall, blonde, well-built, dressed in army pants and t-shirt. He got into a light, small car, and he drove away.
And is the man you saw at the instant teller window that Saturday morning in this courtroom?
Yes, that's him. That looks like the person I saw at the bank.
And you suddenly remember this incident 1 year after the murders.
Yes.
And nothing jogged your memory.
Well, I don't know what caused it, but I remember it.
Billy? Listen, I'm sorry about Lorraine Taylor, but now you boys understand how I felt when you all sandbagged me with Owen Breck. Except I was smart enough to play my card at the right time. Don't you agree? After you saw the man walking out of the Eastburn driveway, what happened?
He said something to me about getting an early start, and then he got in his white Chevette and drove off.
How did you know it was a Chevette?
I know cars now.
Is there any doubt in your mind that the defendant is the man you saw walking in front of the Eastburn house?
No, sir.
Mr. Breck, do you recall making a tape-recorded statement to Mr. Richardson saying you were not certain of your identity of Tim Hennis?
Well, yes.
And Mr. Richardson told you he wanted the truth, no matter who you saw. And that it wouldn't do any good if you later came into court and say you were tricked or you were pushed into making this statement.
Yes, I do.
Right. And then you told him you were not certain it was Tim Hennis you saw.
Yes, but, well, you know, with the confusion and all, and then Mr. Richardson and his friend questioned me, I mean, what am I supposed to do? You know? I mean, look, now I know what I saw. Okay, I was the only one there at 3:30 that morning. And I saw the car. And I saw Mr. Hennis.
The prosecution has offered a deal. You plead guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder, and you serve 2 consecutive life sentences. You probably live long enough to get out of prison.
Whose murder are they dropping? You just sweeping a body under the carpet and forgetting it? No. I'm not pleading guilty to something I didn't do.
Tim, it could...
I said I'm not pleading guilty to something I didn't do.
Okay. And that night, what did Tim say about how his marriage was going?
I just tapped his wedding ring and asked how things were. And he said that she had gone again. And I said, "Are things that bad?" And he said, "Yes."
And nothing else took place between you?
No. He left right after Family Ties was over, at 9 o'clock. Or, 5 till 9.
And when you tested the vaginal swabs of blood taken at the scene, did the blood type match Tim Hennis?
No.
And when you lab tested Tim Hennis's jacket, did you find any blood?
No.
But Hennis's jacket had just been dry cleaned. Therefore, would you expect to find any blood?
Well, simple dry cleaning interferes with the detection of blood by nature of the chemicals used in the dry cleaning process.
And in your experience, in rape cases, how often do you find just the victim's blood type?
In 80% of my cases, I find only the victim's blood type.
Which does not rule out Tim Hennis.
No.
And what were your conclusions when you tested the piece of corduroy?
I compared the corduroy in the barrel and Katie Eastburn's sock against the ribbed impression of the bloody print. Now, the corduroy has wide ribs and narrow gaps, and the sock has narrow ribs and wide gaps, much like the bloody print. Therefore, I concluded the sock made the print, not the corduroy.
Now, you've testified that the sock has 13 ribs per inch, and that each rib is 1 millimeter wide with gaps in between of 2 millimeters, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Head? You see, I did some figuring after you testified. Thank you. At 13 1 millimeter ribs per inch, how many 2 millimeter gaps would be in between?
About 10. You'd have to count them.
Wouldn't it in fact be 12?
Approximately.
But 12 gaps of 2 millimeters each and 13 millimeters for the ribs. Your inch has 37 millimeters. However, there are 24.4 millimeters to the inch.
All I'm saying is my measurements were averages taken from stretching the sock several ways. So the sock made the impressions the corduroy could not have.
What time did Sergeant Hennis relieve you of day room duty that night?
I called him at the CQ at 10:45, and he came over to sign me out about 11:15.
And that's when you say you last saw him that night, 11:15?
Yes, sir.
Specialist Reno, you don't wear a watch.
No, sir, I don't.
So you're not sure about any of the times you're testifying to, are you?
Well, no, sir, not exact times, no.
I wonder if you would be kind enough to tell the court what this is?
It's a crime prevention checklist, sir.
Signed at what time by Sergeant Hennis?
11:30.
May we have a conference, Your Honor? We looked for that checklist. It proves Hennis was on duty until 11:30 Friday night. You had it. You withheld it until it was too late to help us. It is exculpatory evidence.
Which must be handed over before the end of the trial. I've merely saved it till now. That's no violation.
It kept my key witness from verifying his statement. While you beat up on him, casting doubt with the jury.
Technically, the prosecutor is right. Gentlemen, let's wrap this up.
The state is asking you to kill Tim Hennis. Based on the words of a witness, Owen Breck, who tells one story, then changes it again. And Lorraine Taylor, a woman who couldn't identify Tim Hennis, then 1 year later swears it's him.
How could Tim Hennis leave CQ duty and use the bank card when the crime prevention checklist says he was on duty then? How could Tim Hennis do these murders and then clean up the house for 4 hours and not leave a single trace of himself there? Not one single piece of evidence at the scene links Tim Hennis. Tim Hennis certainly has not been proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
And finally, one man was recognized by Lorraine Taylor and Owen Breck. There's your baby killer. Katie, Karen, and Aaron, and afterwards, there is Karen. Afterwards. And Katie. Afterwards. And little Aaron. Child. Are you going to turn this man loose on the streets? I certainly hope you're not.
The jury will retire to reach a verdict.
Ah, boy. I slaved over these eggs. Get them just the way you like them.
We've lost, haven't we?
In the words of that wise philosopher, Yogi Berra, it ain't over till it's over.
The jury's back.
Oh.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Timothy Bailey Hennis, guilty of all charges. No recommendation of mercy.
This court is adjourned.
Hey, Billy! Billy! Give this to Angel. Tell her I love her.
Tim, I'm gonna get this back to you. I promise.
Jim, listen, son, we're gonna get you out. Don't worry.
We'll get you out.
Just want to say hello. Just want to say, Tim. Stay back here. Tim, don't worry. Don't worry.
And it is therefore ordered and adjudged that Timothy Bailey Hennis is hereby sentenced to death. And the warden of the state penitentiary shall cause said prisoner to be put to death as by law provided. May God have mercy on your soul.
Postcard for you, Hennis. Dear Mr. Hennis, I did the crime. I murdered the Eastburns. Sorry you're doing the time. Thanks, Mr. Hennis. Dear Angela, you made me promise to write every day no matter what, so here goes. Today there were no calls allowed in or out of death row. John Rook, the guy 2 cells over, is being executed. He raped and murdered a nurse. For his last meal, John ordered 12 hot dogs with everything. Slaw, chili, the works. I could hear the demonstrators outside as I watched them on TV.